Hello, everyone, and welcome. In this video, I will be going over the syllabus for our course, Chicanx Latinx History for this fall. I'm not going to be going over every single detail or reading everything. You all should do that on your own, especially as you prepare for the syllabus quiz. But I do want to highlight certain areas and reiterate and emphasize some things. So as I said, this is Ethnic Studies 3108, Chicanx and Latinx History. This first part up here, the important thing to get out of here is my email address. That would be the main way to communicate with me with any questions you have about class, the syllabus, anything at all throughout the semester. I will also be sending out weekly emails introducing the module for each week, and everything is going to come from this email address to you as well. And I will be emailing you at your CU Denver email address, so please make sure that you check that email as well. Here we have the brief description of what this course is about. And I also like to include a diversity statement, emphasizing the fact that my intention is to serve as best as possible students from various backgrounds and perspectives. Here then you have the course goals and learning objectives for this class. This gives you a sense of what you'll be able to do, what you will be have learned by the end of the semester by going through this class. I include a section on my teaching philosophy. One of the challenges of an online course is that you really don't get to know your professor very well because you don't see them sort of on a weekly basis. So I try to incorporate through the syllabus and through the things that I put up on Canvas, through the various video lectures and so on, a little bit about myself, so that you hopefully get a sense of who I am, how I work, and feel comfortable when you need to email me with any questions. So here in my teaching philosophy, I talk a little bit about my background and also sort of my approach to teaching. Here is, again, sort of my history of teaching and working in higher education, which has been pretty extensive by this point. The next section, online elements of this course, sort of explains how this course works online. One of the important things to take from this section is that the week for this course starts on Tuesdays, except for obviously this first week of classes. I've posted everything on Monday. But typically for every week moving forward, on Tuesdays, I will post the module for that week, and any assignments that you have due won't be due until the following Monday. So make sure that you make note of how that schedule works. The modules each week will have multiple components, including an introduction to the week, a lecture video, a discussion post, and supplemental video clips. Any additional assignments will appear in the module the week they are due. The weekly introduction page includes announcements, what the reading is for the week, and what your to-dos are for the week. This is also basically following the syllabus. As I mentioned, it's important that you keep track of what the readings are, what your due dates are, and that you turn on the notifications on Canvas. In terms of office hours, I will hold office hours via Zoom by appointment. So if you want to talk to me about anything at all, please email me and we can schedule a time for us to meet via Zoom. And as I mentioned, all communications from me will come from my university email address to your university email address. Important note, while I do my best to communicate all instructions and expectations of the course via email, Canvas announcements, and the instructions for assignments, it is the student's responsibility to make sure that you are keeping up with due dates for all assignments of the course and that you understand what is expected of you for all assignments. Therefore, make sure to read your emails, announcements, and instructions for assignments carefully. Make sure to know due dates for all assignments and keep them in your calendar. And if you have any questions, if anything is unclear, please don't hesitate to email me. Time management is essential for this course. If managing your time is a challenge for you, please refer to time management resources that I've made available to you on Canvas. Next part is about assignments. I list here out of 1,000 points what the different assignments are and what their point values are. There are no extra credits offered in this course. You have plenty of work, as you can see from the list there, throughout the semester. So make sure to focus on the assignments you do have and to do your very best on these. Here is listed the grading rubric, so you know how many points equals what letter grade. The next part describes the various major assignments that are due throughout the semester. The very first thing is a syllabus quiz, so you need to look through the syllabus carefully, which is also posted on Canvas, and take the true-false quiz by the end of this week. And in the quiz, you have multiple attempts to take the exam, to take the quiz, so that you can do and record your best results in the quiz. The introductory paper, there are 2 introductory papers, one at the beginning of the semester and one at the end of the semester. This will be due during week 2, where you write a 1 to 2 page double-spaced paper responding to the part 1 prompt here. What do you already know about the Chicanx Latinx populations in the United States, and how have you gained this knowledge? The assignment on Canvas will have more detailed instructions for this assignment once it opens up. In the end of the semester, you will revisit the part 1 of this assignment and then reflect on what you have learned throughout the semester. The first part is due September 2nd. The second part is due December 9th. And as I said, once those assignments open up, they will have much more detailed instructions in them. Every week, you will have a discussion post to do that is based on the material for that week. You will also need to respond to at least one other student's post. These discussions are meant to reflect on the course content. You're expected to provide thoughtful responses demonstrating that you have engaged fully with the week's material. Your postings should be at least 150 words. And your responses to other students are not limited to any particular word count, but you should make sure they're engaging and not just an I agree with you post. You will earn 10 points for each discussion post. Grade is based on demonstrating that you have engaged with the content of the course, you're providing a thoughtful response, and have actively engaged with the response of at least one other student. There are 2 exams throughout the semester in this course. These will be true-false questions, and these will be based on the material covered up to the point of that particular exam. They will be open note, open book, and you will have 2 attempts for each exam up to the due date of each exam. This means that if you're unhappy with your first score, you may attempt the exam a second time before the exam due date, and your highest score will be retained. The first exam will be September 30th. The second exam will be due November 11th. In addition to those exams, you also have a paper that we call the letter assignment. For this assignment, you'll be writing a letter to someone of your choosing, discussing what you have learned in the first half of the semester. You should be intentional in choosing who to address this letter. Along with your letter, you will add a reflection page discussing who you've chosen to address a letter to and what your goal is in addressing this letter to that particular person. What would you hope they take away from this letter if they were ever to read it? The letter itself should be 3 to 4 pages long, and the reflection page should be 1 more page for a total of 4 to 5 pages. This assignment will be due October 21st. Finally, there's a final exam, which will be similar to the first 2 exams in format and will cover the last third of the course. The exam will be very similar to the other exams in terms of being open note, open book. You will have 2 attempts, and it will also be in the true-false format. And this exam will be due during finals week, December 12th. The next section has various course policies. One to note is the late work and extension. Discussion posts cannot be turned in late. If there are extenuating circumstances that prevent you from submitting these on time, email me before the due date so that we can discuss. But generally, you have what I call OOPS tokens. And you have 2 OOPS tokens throughout the semester. And these allow you to have an extension on your assignments. These cannot be used for weekly discussion posts or the final exam, but they can be used for exams 1 and 2 or the other papers. To use the OOPS token, you download it from the OOPS token page on Canvas, you fill it out and submit it to me via email at least 1 hour before the assignment is due. The OOPS token gives you an automatic 3-day extension. Once I receive your OOPS token, I will respond and the new due date with the new due date for your assignment. Please make sure to keep track when you've used your OOPS tokens to make sure that you don't use them up too quickly or forget that you've used them, and then you're in trouble. The next policy is the incomplete policy, is basically the same as the university policy. Communication and email policy. The best way to communicate with me, as I said, is via email. You should be aware, however, that I check my email Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and sparingly on weekends unless there's an assignment due. So you should not expect quick responses from me if you email me after 5 p.m. weekdays or during the weekends. Communication is also key when it comes to any issues or challenges you may be having that prevent you from attending class, turning in assignments on time, or that may impact your overall performance in class. Communicating with me as early as possible when confronted with a particular issue help so that I can work with you to maximize your success in the course. This is issues like you have a health issue that comes up unexpectedly, a death in the family, an accident, these kinds of situations that you did not expect but happen and would certainly have an impact on your performance in the class. Please don't wait until the end of the semester to tell me that something's been going on. By that point, I can't really help very much. And you will be swamped with end of semester work. So the earlier you tell me that something's going on, the more time we have so that we can work together to make sure that you can still be successful in the course. The student code of conduct, again, is the university's policy. Available help and support. As I mentioned, we'll have student office hours via Zoom by appointment, but these, again, often students think that you can only use this time to talk to your professor about something that's going wrong with you in that class, you did poorly in an assignment, but these office hours are also available for you to talk to professors about your career options, your experiences as a student, questions that you may have. This in particular impacts first-generation students. I was a first-generation college student myself, so I know how difficult it can be to navigate the university on your own. So if you have any questions, please email me, and we am more than happy to meet with you via Zoom to talk about any difficulties that you may be having. If you're a student with disabilities, please make sure to communicate with the appropriate office on campus, and that I get the letter from that office telling me that you need extended time or whatever it may be. I'm more than happy to make those accommodations for you, but I do need the letter from the Disability Resources Office. If you have any religious holiday accommodations that you need this fall semester, please also let me know of those. I'm more than happy to work with you to make those accommodations. Student and Community Counseling Center is just a reminder that we do have these resources for you on campus, including the Writing Center, the Phoenix Center, which offers support services and resources for anyone experiencing interpersonal violence. We do have a food pantry on campus. Food insecurity is something that's affecting many college students throughout the country. And so we do have this resource for you as well on campus. If you are a veteran or military student, we also have that office on campus. And finally, the Center for Identity and Inclusion is another resource for students, as is the LGBTQ Resource Center on campus. Books and materials that you need for this course. The Crucible of Struggle, A History of Mexican Americans from Colonial Times to the Present, will be the only book that you need to purchase. The book is also available on reserve at the area library. And you also, and I've also requested it through the college bookstore, so you can find it there as well. This is also a book that you can find on online sources such as Amazon as well. Just make sure that you're getting the correct edition, the second edition. The rest of the syllabus gives you a breakdown week by week of what is due, what the reading is, and so on. And in addition to the book, there will be additional readings that will all be available via Canvas in the module that they are due. So make sure that you make those notations of where to find which readings. And so this first week, this is what we're doing. We're looking through the syllabus. We look through the discussion post guidelines. There's I've replaced some articles that used to be here. I need to take this note out, but there's some videos on the meaning of the various Hispanic Latino labels, and you'll be asked to discuss those in the discussion post. In terms of assignments that are due by the 26th is a discussion post, the syllabus quiz, and a getting to know you survey, which is a short survey that gives me a sense of who you are and how I can best serve and teach you this semester. As we move along to the rest of the syllabus, you will see that we begin talking about colonial Latinx history, and then we move into a few weeks of talking about Mexican-American history throughout the United States. And then we will talk about the Chicanx movements. And then we move to discussing Puerto Ricans in the United States and their history of being in the US, their history of migration and settlements throughout the United States will also be discussed. And then we will move to shorter units on Cuban Americans and Central Americans, and that will round out the end of the semester. So we talk about these various groups because Latinx history is very vast throughout the United States. We'll talk about, we spent a lengthy time talking about Mexican Americans and Puerto Ricans because those are the two largest Latinx populations in the United States. And then we'll talk about other populations like Cuban Americans and Central Americans that have been more relatively recent populations that have arrived to the United States. That does not mean that those are the only Latinx populations that exist. But again, the point of the class is to give you as much of a general sense of what the history of these different populations have been in the United States. So that's the syllabus. In a nutshell, I just want to very quickly, for those of you that may not be familiar, demonstrate where things are on Canvas. So this is what the Canvas version of the course looks like. This is what you should see when you enter the course. Here on the left side, you see all the various different areas of our Canvas classroom. First is the syllabus. And so here is basically everything that I just went through. Here is a download version of the syllabus. I've also pulled those sections, different sections from the syllabus and created their own pages for easy access for you. These are all the different ones that I've discussed. The student resources, if you click on this, gives you the resources on time management that I mentioned. And also I've gathered advice from previous students who've taken this course and sort of their thoughts on what you should do in order to be successful in this course as well. The other key area is the module section. And in this section, you will see that for this first week, this is what it looks like, right? A course introduction, the page that has the videos, the discussion post guidelines to read through, the advice from previous students, what your discussion post will be for this week, the getting to know you survey, and the syllabus quiz. And so as an example, this introductory page for week 1 will obviously have more content in it because it's the first week. Sort of introducing myself, the course. This is my dog Basil, whom you might hear sometimes in the background of some of the video lectures. And then this is this week's to-do. So this is pretty much what you'll find at every week in the introduction to the week page is what the readings are and what you have to do for that week. So I try to make it as easy as possible for you to navigate what you have to do every week. But if, again, at any point you have any questions, something isn't working, I missed turning something on, or any questions at all, please make sure that you email me as soon as possible so I can make any corrections, especially any corrections I may need to make on Canvas. So that is, in a nutshell, what we'll be doing this semester. I look forward to being your instructor this semester and engaging in discussions with you through our discussion posts. And as I said, if you have any questions, please email me. I will see you next time.